All right. So taxes, tip, and markup. Let me explain what these things are, okay, and why they're important. All right. So taxes, they're all additional costs. Okay. So we know that when something says it costs $10, it doesn't actually cost $10. It probably costs closer to $11. Um, we know that if you go to a restaurant, you're supposed to tip the people that serve you, even if you can't go to physically sit in them right now. You pay them for service. You're supposed to do that for a lot of other services. That's more of a courtesy. All right. And then markup is one that actually affects you guys more than you know. So we'll talk about that too. All right. So, first of all, taxes, right? Why pay taxes? Well, think of it this way: there are certain things that you don't have to pay for, but they do cost money. So, for example, school. You guys all get to come to school, and no one paid. You didn't have to pay me. You don't have to pay the school any money to come. You just get to come, right? How? How is that possible? Well, because your parents, and other people pay taxes. We're going to deal mainly with sales tax. There's a lot of different kinds of taxes. Sales tax is basically anytime there's a sale of something. So when you're at the store, is the most easy example. You have to pay the sales tax. There's also income tax, which is when people have to say they have to pay their taxes. So income tax you don't have to worry about for a while, but when you get a job, you have to pay a tax on the money you get. So it's a way for things like um, so, you have to understand there's things that belong to nobody, but everybody uses. So like streets and schools, and if there's a bridge, someone has to build the bridge. But it's not just the residents' job who live close to the bridge. If everyone uses it, then everyone should help pay for it, and that's the idea of tax. Tip is what you give as a courtesy for people who do a service for you. Usually, we think of it in restaurants, and we say, "Oh, thanks for the service. Here's a 20% tip." Things like that. Okay. Markup is one that uses a lot. So think of it this way: whenever you go to buy something, that's not how much it costs to make, right? What I mean is, like, let's say you want to go to the store and you're going to buy a bag of chips, and a bag of chips costs $1. Well, it didn't cost the company $1 to make that bag of chips. It maybe cost them 20 cents, but they charge you $1. Well, why do they do that? That doesn't seem very fair. Well, think of it this way: if you're a company, you have to make money. So if you sell everything for the exact amount that it costs for you to make, you wouldn't make any money. You need to charge more. You need to mark it up. Okay. So if you were to start your own business and you're going to sell lemonade, right? Your little lemonade stand, and it cost you 25 cents to make the lemonade, you need to charge people 50 cents or $1. Otherwise, you'll never remember, because it costs you money to make things, right? You want to get paid also. You have to pay your employees. You have to do all that stuff. So you need to mark things up. So you'll see that a lot of different places. I'm sorry. You'll see that in a lot of different places in a lot of different areas. One example that you'll see different markups. For example, if you ever when we used to be able to go to the movie theater, why does a candy cost so much? Because they're marking it up. They're saying, "Hey, we bought it for $1 from the store, but we're going to charge you 5." That's not fair. Well, they got to make money somehow, right? So that's the idea that we're looking at. Okay. Tax, tip, and markup. Okay. Um, those are different things that you see. Now, the reason why this is under percentage is because you want to give a percentage of what your original price is as tax, tip, and markup. So, for example, if you pay $10 for a dinner, $1 tip might make sense. If you pay $100, a $1 tip is not a lot, right? That's only 1%, right? So we use percentage depending on what the original price was. Okay. So that's the idea of what tax, tip, and markup is. And hopefully we get kind of an understanding. So let's go ahead and start into our notes. Okay. So let's start with, again, just kind of like our piece of paper example. You could write this down. Okay. So again, here's 100%, and here is our original. All right. This time we don't get to tear the paper at all. We don't get to slice it off. This time, when we actually pay, we're going to pay the original plus a little bit more. And this is our tax, our tip, or our markup. So this is still 100%. This is our original. And then depending on Where you live, your tax might be different. Depending on how much you make, your tax might be different. Depending on how good the service was, your tip might be different. So this could be any percentage. We'll just say 20%, for example. So you actually have to pay more than what it says on the price. All right. So we all know that, right? Now, just like yesterday and the day before, there are two different ways to do these types of problems. Okay. So let's start with the way that most of you guys are doing these problems. Let's do a problem right here. All right. This is find the tax and then add it on. So let's say you're going to buy something that cost $140. So let's say you're going to buy a new, let's see, so new earpods. Okay. But remember, it says 140, but you have to pay tax on it. So you have to pay tax, which is mainly, we'll say about 9.5%. So the question is, how much is the total price? Okay, the total price or the final cost. You might see it as the word final or total. Okay, let's find the total cost. Okay, so let's do this exactly like we did these last 2 days. Okay, you can kind of follow along with me, and then I'll let you guys have some of your own. All right, so 9.5 over 100 is equal to P over 140. This should look familiar. Yeah? Same thing as yesterday. All right, let's go ahead. Let's do it. 100P, 140 times 9.5. Do it in my calculator here. 1330. Divide by 100. Divide by 100. And I get P is equal to $13.30. Okay, now, this is not our final answer. Okay? What did we just find? Right? We just found the tax. This is our tax. Right? That is our tax amount. So what do we have to do? In order to find the total is the original amount. Oops, sorry, not the OG, the original amount. Plus the tax. This time we're going to add and not subtract. So go ahead and add that price on. So that's $140 plus $13.30. So your actual total is $153.30. Okay? That makes sense? Right? So tax, you're going to add on, all right? Tax, tip, and markup, you're going to add on. So you do it exactly the same way that you did it last time. Now, I know that some of you might use the method 2. So I just want to go over that really quick. So the other way you could do it, and this is kind of a most of you won't have to worry about this, but I just want to show you just so you guys can see it. Okay, method 2. So method 1 is find the tax and then add it on. Method 2, remember for some of you who did like where you just take the percentage, the final, and go straight to the final answer. This is what you would do. If you go straight to the final answer, you need to do it like this. You would say, well, if the tax is 9.5%. and the original is 100%, I add those together to make 109.5%. This is my total percentage. So this is my original, and this is my tax. So do this with me really quick. Again, this is for like some of you who like to do it the fast method. You would use this 109.5 number. So watch this. The total is equal to 1.095 times the 100%, which is $140. Everyone just do that really quick. Put that in your calculator.
You add it, right?
No adding. You're fine. You're at the final answer. You're done.
No, I mean like you get 109, right? 109.5 times 140.
Yeah, so 109.5 becomes 1.095, right? I changed it to percentage. Okay. So I added those. Yeah, I added it on because remember yesterday, again, for people who did it this method, if it was like 20% off, you subtracted first, right? You did 100 minus 20 is 80, and you did 0.8. So today you add instead, right? You did the percentages first.
How do you get 1.095?
You got to move the decimal 2 places. So the question is, so remember yesterday, if I said it was 20% off, and again, most people won't use this method, okay? But yesterday, if we said it was 20% off, you remember that there was 80% left. And then you use this 80 number, 0, and you change it to 0.80. And you multiply it, right? Okay. So today you do the same thing, right? But instead you're going to add. Okay. Don't worry. If you're confused by that, don't worry about it too much. If you really understand, though, this is the best method because this takes you right to the final answer, which is 153.30.
So you get 100%, and then you just add the percent that the tax give you.
Yep, that's it, Nee.
And just move the decimal.
And then move the decimal and multiply. Yep, that's the fast way. I want most of you guys to use method 1. A few of you, if you understand it, use method 2. Let's try another one here, okay? It just takes some practice. All right, let's say you're going to a restaurant. What restaurant do you want to go to? Anyone?
Red Lobster.
Red Lobster. Okay, we're going to the Red Lobster. Ooh, Denny's came in just a little bit later. All right, we have a nice dinner at the Red Lobster. Nice. We got ourselves some lobster. We got ourselves some cheddar biscuits. Really good. All right. So let's say, okay, it's expensive, a little expensive. So the dinner cost is because you treated your family cost $70. Right? So that's when you add up all the stuff. Your bill is $70. You want to leave a tip. You're going to leave a 15% tip. So how much will it cost total for your dinner? All right, go for it. Let's see if you guys can figure this out. $70 after everything, and we'll pretend that normally it would be taxed, but we won't worry about that right now. Let's just pretend we're dealing with just the tip.
Mr. Leon, if I get 100%, I plus 15%, and it's like a whole number, no decimal, I just leave it like that, right?
No, then you got to move the decimal when you multiply.
No, I mean like if there's
Yeah, you just leave it like that. All right, go ahead and put in the chat if you think you got how much your total is. All right, Jenny can pay for her meal. Good job, Jenny. All right, Joaquin can pay for his meal. So can Yen. Good job.
Oh, when you get your total, you have to multiply. I mean, you add and not multiply.
You should, the way you're doing it, you should just be able to multiply. All right, Benjamin, good job. Jeffrey can pay. Benjamin, make sure you put that 0 at the end, okay? Remember, 2 decimal places.
I don't get it because my total, I put I put 115. I multiply it 70 and then get 8,000 something. But then when I get 115, I add it to 70 is 185.
No, don't add. Just multiply. Sorry. When I said earlier, you do need to move your decimal, knee. So 115, you got to move the decimal 2 places. Not quite a math. Good, Wilson. All right. Yes. We did find the tip, but we need to find the total price. I want the total price. Good, Ida. Good, knee. All right, good job. No, not quite there, Jordan. Okay, I'm gonna do this 2 different ways so you guys see it. First way, let's find the tip, just the tip, and then we'll add it on. Here we go. 15 over 100 is equal to P over 70. Or some of you might do it this way and say 0.15 times 70. Either way, you'll get the same thing. So this is for the tip. All right, so here we go. 1 second. 100p is equal to 70 times 15, which is 1050, which means p is equal to $10.50. Remember, this is the tip. That is not the total, okay? Think of it this way. Sometimes we get confused and we put that as our final answer. Remember, if your dinner costs $70, do not just leave $10.50. You did not pay for your meal, okay? So remember that. That is just the tip. And sometimes I might have you find just the tax and the tip, okay? Yes, Cameron, you got the tip right. Okay, so now remember, what do we have to do with this tip? Okay, I'll go back here. So this is equal to $10.50. Remember, we have to add it to the original, okay? Add it to the original. All right, so here we go. So what we want to end up with is our Red Lobster dinner cost $70 plus our tip of $10.50, which is going to give us $80.50. All right. Okay, so that is how you do this problem. Now, if you want to try and do it the faster way, some of you guys are trying to do it that way. Okay, again, tip is 15%. So I know that the whole thing, okay, the whole thing, or the original is 100%, which is $70, plus the tip, which is 15%. So this is our tip. This is our original. It makes 115%. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that 115% and I'm going to multiply it by the 70. I'm going to say, okay, 115% is 1.15. So let's go straight to the total. Times my original amount. And again, if you don't understand what's going on here, don't worry about it. You don't have to do it this way. But if I do that, I will get straight to the final answer, which is $80.50. Okay? That make sense? Does that make sense?
So for the homework, if ask you for text, tip, or makeup, you just do the same method?
Yep, tax, tip, and markup are done the exact same way. They're 3 different things. They're just done the same way. So let's do a markup problem, okay? Let's do a markup problem. All right, so let's say you are, let's say you are someone who makes t-shirts, okay? So one shirt costs you $1.50 to make, okay? So that means it costs for the fabric and everything else, right? You want to mark it up, and let's make a pretty good percentage here. You want to do a 70% markup. How much are you going to sell the shirt for? Okay, so this is from like the seller standpoint. Go ahead and figure out how much your shirt will cost. Good, Allison. Good job. Good, Jeffrey. Not quite. Jenny, try it again. Good, Yen. Not quite there, Cameron. Make sure you're doing what you're doing. Yeah, knee, that's good. Oh, okay. Thank you, Cameron. Yeah. Good job, Kelly. Good job, Charlene. Yeah. Not quite, Ida. Make sure your numbers are correct there. Excuse me. Good, Wilson. Yeah, you guys are doing really well. Good job, Benjamin. Good, Joaquin. Good job, Matthew. Yep, Amaya, good job. All right. Jenny, awesome. Okay. Okay, good. You guys seem to be right on this. Okay. It's pretty easy. Again, it's just like yesterday, but you're adding instead. That's the whole deal. Okay. So I'm gonna show you the real fast way, but you guys did it however you did it, right? So this is what I would say is 70%. So plus 100%, right? Is 170%. So I'm gonna say my total is equal to 1.70 times 150, $1.50, and I get $2.55. All right, which most of you guys got. Good job. Okay, now just to give you guys some perspective, okay, normally you do not buy shirts for $2.55. They cost more than that. But I will tell you this: they actually cost less than $1.50 to make. So you're probably getting marked up maybe 600%, 700%, a lot more than that. Okay. And that's how people make money. Because remember, if you're a t-shirt company, you have to pay the people who make the t-shirt. You have to pay the people who design the t-shirt. You have to pay the people who ship the t-shirt. You have to pay the people. So you can't just say 70% and say, okay, I'll sell each shirt for that. You need to sell it for way, way more than that, right? That's the only way that you are going to make money as a company. So keep that in mind. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Okay. All stores are kind of like that. I mean, even if you go to like 99-cent store or Dollar Tree, they are marking it up, right? The stuff that they sell you only cost them pennies to get, pennies to make. But that's the only way that you make money. Okay. All right. So if you were a little bit confused on this one, let me go over it. Otherwise, if you're good to go, you can start working on the homework because that's it. That's the whole thing for the homework is just these types of problems. And you can do it any way you want. Find the tax tip and markup. And tomorrow there's another little wrinkle that we're going to go over, but pretty much that's all you got to do. Okay. So pretty simple. You guys are really doing a good job with this because again, it's very much like yesterday, but adding instead of subtracting. That's pretty much it. Okay. And we're going to have a quiz on Tuesday of next week involving this stuff. Okay. Discount and tax tip markup. So if you're feeling pretty good about that, then you should be in pretty good shape. All right. Okay, there's a few minutes left. You guys can go ahead and start getting work. If you need me to go over this problem again, I'm going to go over this problem just for anyone who might have been having some trouble. Okay. So if you're having trouble, let me go over this problem. Let's not worry about this. All right. So remember, 70% is our markup. So I'm going to do 70 over 100 is equal to P over 150. I'm going to cross multiply and solve here. So 100P is equal to 150 times 70. 1.50 times 70. Oops, sorry. Let me go back here real quick to that note. All right. 70 times 150, let me put that in my calculator, is 105. Okay. Yes, there's always that 100 on the bottom, no matter what, Cameron. If you're gonna solve it this way, there's always 100 on the bottom. All right. Divide by 100. Divide by 100. Okay. The reason the 100 is always there is the 100 represents 100%. This is always 100%. P is equal to 1.50 1.05. Remember, this is your markup. So I need to add the markup to the final, which is going to be, or my original. So my total price, $1.50 plus 1.05, which is equal to $2.55. Okay?